Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Masked Taimanin. Today we're gonna check another VR builds, but before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. So, it's been a while since I do a VR builds for Masked Taimanin because, she is the first boss that we ever received for this mode. She's extremely outdated, still strong if you don't know what to do. And it is pretty simple to just abuse mind control, disarm, or even slow to just stop the enemy on its tracks. But we're not gonna do exactly that. And we're gonna do this on step 100. So, what are we going to do? We're gonna be using a bunch of attackers. It's gonna be a super blue build this time. And as you can see, it's gonna be blue humans. So, just for you to know, well, I can check it over here. This is a protective character, human protect, and human protect. All of them human protect. Because of that, and the fact that we're fighting Masked Taimanin, we're gonna be using penetration against human type, increased by 8% with Felicia, the Queen of Hell. So yeah, there are other options, sure. Like anything that is human is going to be usable on this particular strategy, like the Lightning Huntress. That's one that you could use. Let's see, increase damage dealt by human and reduce damage taken by human. Yeah, I could also use this one. It's 2% less damage, but Evil Eyes is probably going to be a pretty good option. In case you prefer to go the protect type route, there's a ton of things. Damage increase over here, damage increase, damage of protective characters increased by 12, damage dealt to protect type characters. No, this one we don't use. We would use Gosha's student monitors, critical rate no, critical damage no, maximum HP for protect type characters. If you need the defense, you can go with Compassion of Demonic Island Patrol. Then damage of protected characters increased by 12%, and damage dealt with melee attacks is increased by 8%. Honestly, this doesn't exactly benefit this particular build, but take this into consideration. It's pretty good. And yeah, so anyways, let's check exactly what each character is offering. So number one, we have Sakura. Sakura is gonna be the tank slash supporter because she has a bunch of good weapons and skills that are going to enhance that role. So, if you have Twinkle Riser, this is probably the best option. It allows her to disarm. I'm not going to abuse disarm. I'm not going to use Witchu, just so that you know. It's just whatever she can disarm, or however long she can disarm, that's gonna be it with the weapon. If you don't have the weapon, what options do you have? For this particular strategy, Yamata Norochi is not that bad. But if you don't have this 5 out of 5, forget it. It's not like the most impressive weapon after all. Unabara. Unabara is an excellent weapon. If you have it, use it. It is extremely good. It is basically kind of a Momochi weapon, but without the crit conditions. It is extremely useful. And also you could use, of course, the Wicked Star weapon, which is going to make you tankier and increase your damage against humans. It is an option, definitely a great option. The butterfly weapon is fine if you want speed increase. It doesn't do much other than that on VR, but the speed increase is fine. And in case you don't have good URs and you struggle with HP recovery, Bloody Cross is another option that you can use. Just keep that in mind. Then we have anti-human Magatamas with Earth Effect, whatever Magatamas on the subslot, whatever weapon, both 5 out of 5 and plus 14, both of them, as you can see. And now, over here, we have the skills. For skills, we have Shadow Tangle to keep the enemy in place. Unfortunately, this doesn't pair particularly well with the disarm because this is a perfect dodge. But not always I'm going to be able to proc that disarm, so it's extremely useful. Then, Shadow Spin to recover HP constantly. It is super important to have HP recovery, and that's why we use Shadow Spin. Lastly, we have Shadow Shift. Shadow Shift to become tankier, because I need this character to be tanky. Because she's gonna be melee, and she's gonna expose herself a lot. We're not using Shadow Clip because even though it's great for dealing damage, that's not the role for Sakura. She's a supporter. And as such, she's gonna be using Mirabelle. Mirabelle is particularly good on this team because she gets to use her extra passive, increasing the damage reduction or reducing the damage taken for all the protect type characters. And guess what? Everyone is protect. That's extremely useful. Obviously, it has the classic damage increase buff that lasts 20 seconds. That's nice. It has the increased critical rate for Sakura. It has the chance to increase damage for 5 seconds on the target. But, I mean, standard effects. Only that we're using this particular extra effect, the extra passive. Then, we have Asusa. Since Sakura is not going to deal that much damage, and she wants to hit ASAP as fast as possible because she has this debuff on crit. She wants the speed increase and she wants to help out the party by providing penetration. That's why we have Asusa over here. Lastly, there are options for the last slot. You would think that since we have over here Mirabelle, you would want to use Haru. And that depends. If the battle lasts too long, okay, use Haru. But if you just obliterate the enemy quickly, don't use Haru. You're not gonna get value of it because you're not going to go into the second activation of Mirabelle's buff. So, what can you use? If you want damage, Lilim is an option. It is pretty good and it is F2P. You can also use Shadow Sakura. It is a generic damage reduction. We are not using familiar effects over here, so we do not use the damage dealt increased by familiars. Well, technically, we can, I guess. Yeah, we can with the weapon, but we are relying on the AI to use that. So, well, it is there if you want to use it. And what else can you equip? You can equip. Let me see. Oh, yeah, it's over here. Aina. Just to have more HP recovery. Pretty useful. You can equip the Founding Tree if you have it on blue. That's another option. And I, of course, as you can see, have Butler Asagi. Why Butler Asagi? Because naturally, thanks to my stats, because my stats are pretty high, I'm already at level 87, I have a good amount of defense, and I also have this damage reduction over here, so I prefer to gain more HP with Asagi. But if you want to go damage reduction, that's fine. Then, we have our second damage dealer. This one is going to go blue too, but you can go with other color if you want. So, I'm using Aina with the butterfly cannon just to increase speed. If you have this one, Yatagarasu, you could use it again. We're using a snare strategy, so it's possible to use it, but it's not the most effective thing ever. You could also use either the snake weapon or the summer weapon if you prefer to go ulti spam. But I mean, it's not that effective. Honestly, I think that Butterfly Clanor is the best weapon for Aina right now. As for Magatamas, we have anti-human Shade Magatamas, which are going to increase the damage we deal to the enemy. And whatever Magatamas on the subslot, weapons 5 out of 5 and plus 15 plus 14. Then, as we go blue, we're going to use Suicide Drone, Bullet Storm, and Drone Shooter. If you want to change maybe Drone Shooter for Bullet Dance, it is not a bad option. Bullet Dance changes on blue, and it's a single target attack that deals a good amount of damage. That's why I recommend it. But since the stage is pretty small, and it's likely that the enemy targets one of a mid-range attacker like Aina, I'm using the healing. Besides, it also summons a drone, so it's fine. Then, for supporters, Mido Haruka to have damage increase and damage reduction. Super, super important on the main. And then we have Arabella and Nana to provide again damage increase and damage reduction respectively. basically I have like 100%, no, let's see, 100% damage increase and 80% damage reduction with these supporters. So I'm extremely tanky and I deal a decent amount of damage. Though Suicide Drone isn't the best damaging skill, it works, and that's all that matters. And then over here we have Micah. Oops, sorry about that. There. So over here we have Micah. Micah is going to be using, of course, X71 Deep Impact. This is the best weapon for Micah. You don't have that weapon? What can you use? Well, honestly, you can use a bit stick. Whatever bit stick is fine. Because none of these are going to provide a good effect for this team, composition, enemy, anything at all. So basically, you either go with this for the effect or you go with whatever weapon for the stats. Then, on the subslot, we have whatever weapon, as you can see. Both 5 out of 5. No, this one is 4 out of 5, and this one 5 out of 5. Plus 13, both of them. Anti-human wind Magatamas, whatever Magatamas on the subslot. And again, we go blue. What a surprise. Well, I have enough supporters to do this. So, we use Made of Flame. Since the stage is pretty small, it's viable to use Made of Flame. Just keep in mind that even though the stage is small, it isn't extremely small. You're still going to be able to miss if you don't position yourself properly. So keep that in mind, even with the extended range and such. Then, we have Carpet Bombing just in case Masked Taimanin spawns the clones. And on the last slot, you can equip whatever you want, honestly. I have Crimson Lotus, but it doesn't do that much. We cannot equip Ruthless Explosion because it has the same command as Made of Flame, which is a shame. We cannot equip Grenade Launcher because we're using Carpet Bombing. So, equip whatever you want, honestly. There's not much options. You can equip a Pure Color skill, the Basic Enhancer, which is not good, a Crimson Lotus, which is not that great over here, especially if we're using this weapon, and the Counter, which is not good because the enemy has super armor. So any skill is fine on the last slot. Well, anyways, for supporters, what do we have? We have Phantom Shiranui to increase the damage of this character, increase the HP of this character, and increase the damage of all humans. That's why we have it on the main. It also provides a small regen effect when the active is up, so that's fine in case of an emergency. Then we have Arabella to increase damage, and we have White to increase damage. So, a couple highlights, guys. For everyone in your team, if you don't have the premium supporters, just add more copies of Mido Haruka, and that's it! You're done! Super easy, guys! Super easy! Since we're using protected characters, you can equip Lilim, remember that, and Nana. If you have multiple copies of this, those are options. Since everyone is human, we can equip Asagi. You can basically change this depending on your needs and availability. Remember to use Akina, remember to use Arabella, because technically we should have 2 copies of Arabella if you participated in both events. And there's also the option to use Massacre Kurenai. Just don't equip it on Sakura. You don't want a character who is able to heal equipped with this. So, that's another option. Now, let's do a run. Maybe I lose. Keep that in mind. This one is not like super consistent because it's not a control strategy. It's basically sheer damage just to destroy the enemy quickly. And we are kind of lucky because there is no damage reduction for Protect. And that's one of the advantages of this team. That since this is a pure color skill team, since this is a pure color team, you are basically going to have a better chance at not getting the damage reduction. And also, you want to keep the whole animation up for the transition so that you reduce the cooldown of Made of Flame. It is a shame that you're going to lose time on... You're going to lose time on the buff. I mean Mirabelle's buff. But honestly, it's worth it. I just wait and I get closer and... Where is this? Up, done, done. Extremely easy, guys. As I told you, this is raw damage. Super, super easy. And Sakura is providing just enough control for everyone to be alive. Both Micah and Aina do not have HP recovery and are pretty squishy. That's why I put Aina... I mean, I'm piloting Micah. That's why I can go full damage. But Aina's a mid-range attacker unlike Micah. And she exposes herself a little bit. So that's why I use these two damage reduction supporters. So that she doesn't die. And that's why I have the drone shooter to heal the whole team in case it's needed. So yeah, guys, this is a pretty easy build because of the versatility it has, because of the fact that you can just substitute a bunch of these supporters with, I mean, 3 of the main supporters. You can just equip copies of Mido Haruka and it's gonna be extremely effective. And you can just fill with whatever you have for damage increase against the corresponding enemy. And well, that's about it, guys. Pretty simple. I hope you find this useful and entertaining, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye!